Hey y'all, I'm at I guess you'd call it the southeast corner of my property. We decided to go swimming today and then come up and check on stuff. Kind of too hot and whatnot to even do any type of serious work out here. I mean, we don't have water. We got totes, the 300-gallon totes to put water in. We're just trying to figure out a way to, get water up here. I could haul it from a creek, go from tote to tote, do a double layer, a double stack, and maybe take one tote and build like a sand charcoal filtration system to where the water will come out the end of it filtered, and then all I gotta do is go from there as I'm pumping it for drinking water. Just pump it and have it go through a tankless hot water heater or whatever, have it heated up hot enough to kill any bacteria that may be in it that can make you sick, or the ones that give you the poo-poos and whatnot. And then there's also the option of next year going ahead and spending the money and just have a well drilled. I mean, you gotta have water before you can put a structure. We may just go ahead and drill a well, but this year we're thinking about our neighbors. They had talked to us about splitting the cost of dozer work. They've got a little bit of stuff they want to do on their property. We have, we want to clear some of ours out. So figured, well, if it's gonna cost $1,000 for both properties, we can split it. Get somebody out here, and when they're done doing theirs, they can do ours. We just split the cost. I'm gonna have most of mine cleared out. Just push it all into a pile. I'm not gonna mess with cutting it down one by one, because then you're left with the stumps, and the stumps would last 50 years. And then, I mean, if you don't burn the stumps out or what, you gotta grind them down. It'd just be easier to cut. It'd just be easier to come in with a bulldozer. You gotta widen our driveway about 10 feet on each side. Make it to where we can easily get in better. The camper we have, I have a spot right here. I don't know if y'all can see it, but this stump, let me come over to it. The stump right here, it sat up about three inches higher, and when I come in here with the camper, the axle was hitting this. Well, it's still a little bit too high. I've got to find some way to get this stump out. Whether I be able to stack stuff up right here and build a fire and burn the stump out over time, just start a fire and burn it out over a day or two. I guess every time we come up, we could build a fire around it and let it burn really good. But we pretty much got everything. This is our dream of turning this into a homestead. We're gonna, when we pay the house off we're in, we're probably going to could probably build a house out here soon. I've had the idea, just if we have to build it one room at a time. You could build a house one room at a time, and be easily get done with it. If you use treated material and with Thompson's water seal, you could do a plywood, do your foundation, which I'd probably just save the money and build a actual concrete foundation, and then build our house on top of that. Like I said, if you gotta build one wall at a time, then that's what you have to do until you get the whole entire structure up. The roof, in my opinion, the roof would be the hardest part the trusses, to get your trusses up. That'd probably be the hardest. But I've been up here. We ain't seen no snakes up here yet.
Knock on wood.
Yep, knock on trees. We ain't seen a snake yet. Thank goodness. So, and it's hot up. I mean, it's every bit of 90 degrees outside today right now. So, like I said, we just thought about coming up here, checking on stuff, and discussing. We're trying to discuss where we're gonna put stuff. I can't turn this camera around unless I stop it. Unless I stop this and the next video is possibly in with this, but I don't want to do that. I can just turn the phone around. Where's my tent? My tent's right here where I'm pointing at. Right there. I would love to put a house directly behind where the tent is. Whether it be a house we build or down the road we put a double wide trailer, which in my opinion, I'd rather, you know, the area we're in is frequent to severe storms. I would rather have something more stable than a trailer because even an EF1 tornado comes through, it can still do some damage. So
get a storm shelter put in up here.
Yeah. So I mean, that would be one of the first things we do is after we clear this out is build a storm shelter. I'd like to build a root cellar to where you know, when we do get moved up here, we can have a spot where we grow a garden and things like carrots, potatoes. You know, you can store in the root cellar. Even your apples. You know, when you got apple trees and you're harvesting, you know, you harvest apples, you can store apples in a root cellar for months apparently, without them going bad. But I'm gonna walk over here a little ways to get away from the noise. I swear, there's times that we'll try to make a video and we have to stop it because our oldest daughter, Cheyenne, she always wants to be the center of attention, and we're trying to teach her, you know, it's not always important to be the center of attention. So, you know, I mean, she has a bad habit of coming running and trying to get in the camera shot or putting her 2 cents in where it doesn't belong. I ain't speaking bad of her, but there is times where she acts like she's like everything should be about her. That ain't how we're trying to raise our kids. We're trying to raise them to be respectful. You know, when someone comes up and they ask a question, you know, one of the things you should always say out of respect is yes sir, no sir, yes ma'am, no ma'am. You know, we've tried, we have been, you know, since the day she was old enough to talk, we have always told them, you know, you need to be saying yes sir, no sir, yes ma'am, no ma'am. But it just, I don't know, there's times that we feel like, you know, where did we go wrong, you know? I'll tell you what, being a parent sometimes it's a struggle. Just trying to get kids to do what you want, like their bedroom. Trying to get them to clean up their bedroom. That's a chore on its own. They think, you know, kids think that just by taking all their toys and throwing it on their bed that the room's clean. And I've been trying to teach them that, you know, that's not clean. Toys need to go in a toy box. Beds need to be made. And whatnot, but they'll eventually understand what we're trying to teach them. And I tell you what, coming up here, being up here at our property, it sure is peaceful. About the only noise I hear is one of our neighbors up the road, back towards the south, Heather and Dustin. They run a generator, and I can barely hear the generator from where I am. So, and I don't want to be up here living and constantly running a generator. You'd have to have a big enough generator, at least a 10,000 to 20,000 watt generator, or something. See, 1,000 watts is a kilowatt. So, to power a house, you need at least 50 kilowatts on a daily basis. I mean, unless you're in your house, you need at least 10,000 to 20,000 watts, which 1,000 watts is a kilowatt. So to be sufficient, you know, solar power, you know, unless you were just on your tiny house off grid, you know, you can get by with enough power to power a refrigerator, maybe one TV. And for me, definitely AC, because I hate the heat. I can take the cold, but the heat the heat's another story. I don't mind working my ass off in the heat, but once I get hot, I'm done. But as far as power, I think 4 to 8,000 watts in solar power. You know, when you can produce 5 kilowatts of power a day off of solar, then maybe a couple, you know, like right now the wind's blowing really good. You could probably have 4 wind turbines up here that are about 1,000 kilowatts. If you can produce at least 500 an hour off of wind turbines, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, you could probably have between that and solar.